It's time for another box talk. I know I'm doing these like every other week, so I can't do my Excalibur. It's Wednesday, and you know what that means because saying it's every other Wednesday, and it doesn't work. So here we are. I'm Chris from Long Box Point. Thanks for tuning in, Raphael, my dude. Uh, Congrats on the successful campaign thus far, right? You still got time for Return of Kamazat's issue 3 or the trade. You can get the whole shebang in one beautiful looking, well designed trade. I think you have a hardcover too. Just I legit just read issue 2 Monday night, and then I was like, "Oh my gosh, there's a there is a Return of Kamazat's soundtrack on Spotify." And so I listened to that almost all day at work and was all up in my dark, moody, gothic vibes. So thank you for putting that together too. Super stoked. I'm going I think I pledged just the issue 3 route because, I've got issues 1 and 2, and so I'm just gonna stick with the 3. But yeah, just get all the covers and the trade. Vaughn, you're an overachiever. And Chris, if you haven't yet, it's live right now on Kickstarter. You probably know that though. You should know that. I also feel like I don't know why that's the campaign that keeps either coming up on social media that I'm seeing stuff about, or that I keep thinking about, or that I keep just like, I don't know. It's just already backed it. Perfect. It's just top of mind for me. I'm excited. I'm stoked that you're putting out the whole new, like, third issue, the complete story. And that also then means that I get to look forward to whatever you do next. So I'm just, just kind of floating things out there on this Wednesday. And to that, my dudes, I say cheers. Ba-da-da-da-sa! Yeah, it is. No, it's absolutely Kamazat's. um, all about the bats and the gothics and the spooky vibes and the way that in the second issue. Never mind. Chris hasn't read them. What you do with the brother in the second issue, I didn't pick up on the first time I read it. And like the gradual increasing of things. Chris, look away. Right? The more that you go, okay, you're good, Chris. uh it's so good. It's so good. Anyway, that's going on with Grimcore. If you don't know, you should search for the Return of Kamazatsu. You can get the full trade, you can get all 3 issues, you can get all the covers, all the variant covers, all the pinups, all the things. The trade is gonna have a gallery of all the covers as well. So like it's just you can get fully set up. And it's just good stuff. It's a good comic. Um, yeah, I did. Yeah, yes, Kay, you're good. I totally missed it the first read. I don't know how, and because the second one, that's all I was noticing. It was like, oh, and I all the things, man. So you would love to hear about the horror anthology. Wow, just giving us layups. So here's the thing. I would love to talk about it. Let me get these things out of the way, and I will share with you. So, remember, remember that time a couple months ago that I was like talking about submitting to horror anthologies and looking for horror anthologies. I still have I have started seeing this is not it. I'm gonna get there. There's a lot happening on this box talk, by the way. I am way too jacked about it. Um I'm starting to see pages and pencils and even some like an inked panel from the short that I have been working with a secret artist on. Um, and I got the first fully like penciled page sent to me today with the promise of more this weekend. And it's just like, man, there's no better feeling than seeing a story that you created that was in your head that another artist has interpreted and put on paper. There's no better feeling than seeing that come to life. So that's awesome. That's super rad. I'm super excited, and I have to keep sitting on it. So, okay. So Kay and I were talking about, of CH and K. Both Chris, I'm CH, he's K. Get it? It's a, so we're, we were talking and we submitted a story to like a cyberpunk dystopian future anthology. Yeah, but it's a good thing you guys already are my friends, so I can keep secrets from you. Huh? Loophole. So we submitted to an anthology. I submitted to another anthology. Got a couple no's, which is fine because I that's fine. Like brand new creators, I expect and anticipate the people curating it to go with people that had more experience, that might have more weight behind their name creatively, And so it goes back to my anytime that I get the imposter syndrome, like, I don't think I'm punk enough to be Logbox punk. Anytime I have that, I think of things like this, where if you tell me don't do something or you can't do this thing, I'm gonna do it anyway. I'm gonna find a way to do it myself. And I was talking to Kay about it, and he was feeling the same. And it was like, you know what? Let's just do it. So we had been kicking around the idea of doing an anthology for a while. Like it's been a couple months, even before the Barricade Brigade Kickstarter. We were talking about doing something like this where we would have a CHK presents like annual issue or anthology. However, the catch is we only want new creators. And new is being interpreted in very weird ways, and everybody has a different meaning, and that's totally fine. My internal brain, and this is for the inner circle of my punk, like it's you're all post punks too. That's why, rad. This is for the inner circle of the people because not everybody comes to Substack and watches these, and certainly not everybody watches these all the way through, which is fine. But in my head, when we said let's aim and target new creators, I'm looking for people that maybe have a title to their name and maybe have been in an anthology or two, or maybe they've only been in like two or three anthologies, but they haven't had a title to their name that's been published. Those are the people we want. If we have someone, and I'll use him because I'm about to unbox his book. If we have someone like J Red submit, like, bro, you've got Incision, you've done anthologies with Apollo City, like, you've got a lot of stuff that you've been involved with. You've got another series that you did called Abducted, which is super good, by the way. But like Jay's done a bunch, right? And I also don't think Jay would be like, "Oh yeah, I'm a new creator." So it's the like we're understanding what we're looking for. We're not clearly defining it everywhere, other than saying like we want new creators because at some point like it's also like we want to work with cool people and we want to work with cool people that are telling cool stories. And so like if you're an established creator and you're submitting to our anthology, we're gonna know. Like we're gonna know that this isn't your first rodeo. And also then like what are you doing? Like you have your stuff, get out of the way. Let the new creators come in and tell stories. And so we're just using this anthology as like a way to uh give the hand backwards to people that are coming behind us of new creators and fully understanding we are also new creators. Just because we've submitted stuff and had Barricade Brigade be successful doesn't mean that we are established. There's so much that we do not know still. There are experiences that we do not have, and that's part of it too, is like we wanna know what it's like. Um, we already have a storyteller that's gonna be like our crypt keeper of the EC comics of yesteryear that had the in-between narrator that's tying things together or just kind of setting up each story. That's a character that Kay had been working on and just looking for a home. And the home is our anthology. And so it's CHK Presents AHA, which is an acronym for a horror anthology. I wrote it down. I was like, oh, look, AHA. And so that's how we titled it, and it's sticking. But it's horror. It's any genre of horror. It's body horror. It's psychological. It's thriller. It's mystery. It's suspense. It's supernatural. It's demonic. It's whatever. Um, it's whatever, because all horror is good horror in my eyes in comics. And so, like, let's just open the gates and let creators um, interpret horror how they will, because everybody has different experiences that also then lend to different definitions of what horror is. That's where I personally, with this, am really excited to see what gets submitted, to see like what people are submitting as horror to us. So that's the anthology. We have we've got a Google form that is set up for submissions. It's live right now. I'll repost it because it's been like a week. I'll probably post that weekly. And Kay will be sharing it as well. And it's been in a bunch of discords. Like it got a lot of traction in some of the discords that I'm in, which is great. And a lot of questions. And it was one of those things like, I'm glad that we just went ahead and did it instead of doing what I like to do and just like put all of these walls in front of me of like, well, once I do this research and I learn this and I know how this works and I know how that works, and then I think about doing this thing, then we can make it live. Like, no, just get all of that shit out of the way. And we just made the link live. I don't know that we're ready, but we're doing it. So I guess we're ready and we're learning. Like it's all part of the thing. So um yeah, it's just a way that even like what I try to do with the show, it's now bringing that space for indie creators to actual like physical comics. And Kay and I are going to be doing a lot of the work with the creative teams. You can submit as a writer, as an artist, as a team collaborator, or as a one person show doing all the things. If you submit as a writer only or an artist only, there are questions that we've intentionally asked that'll help us pair up creative teams should we choose solo people to pair up with. So if you are like me and you're like, I'm not comfortable doing sequential art, I just want to write a script, cool, submit that idea, because there could be someone that's like, I don't want to write, I just want to draw spooky shit. Cool. Submit your artwork and then we'll put you two together to then work together, which is then more experience for you. It's more learning for you. It's all of these things. And so that's the um that's it's all about trying to learn as we do, because that's how I learn, because I learn by doing. And so if we can teach by helping do and being alongside the doing as well, great. And we'll be the editors. There will probably be a story that I write um to pair up with an artist to do, and they're okay, I don't know if you're drawing a story, you can do both. So you have the fair pick of what you want to do. Um, what do we say? 4 to 8 pages, 6 to 8 pages, no more than 8 pages. It's all in the Google form. Everything is in the Google form. It'll be super easy. From there, we tried to make everything as clear as possible on the form so that people filling it out know exactly what's expected. We've already given timelines of submissions closed January 1, 2026. We're giving ourselves a 2-week turnaround to notify people if they're in or out. And we will notify everybody if they're in or out. Like, period. Because the submitting and then waiting and waiting and waiting and like seeing in Discord other people be like, did anybody heard anything about this anthology? No, man, I'm still waiting too. Like, that sucks. and we don't want to suck. We don't want to give a spectacular experience. So 2 week turnaround. So mid-January is when we will be notifying creators if they have been accepted or not. And it's 4 to 8 pages for their submissions. We're also accepting cover artist submissions. We'll have two. The goal is to have 2 variant cover artists come on, but that'll also be dependent on, we're going to kickstart the horror anthology, and depending on how well or not well it does, it will determine if we have the money to then pay variant artists up front. What we've said in the Google form for what we would be paying them if it works out. Every contributor, as part of their payment, is getting comp copies so they have something to have on a table, and a certain, like an even cut of whatever the Kickstarter funds are above and beyond the minimum printing and shipping and supplies and physical materials and all, like fulfillment and all of those things. Once all that stuff is paid for, anything above that, we're splitting between all the creators as evenly as we possibly can. Yeah. So that's that's aha. Nothing to do with surprises, everything to do with horror and however creators interpret that. So if you want to submit and you don't know where the form is, get a hold of me, get a hold of Kay, and we'll steer you in the right direction. And by that I mean we'll send you the link to the Google form, because I don't know if Kay does, but I've got it just open all the time as a tab on my phone. So it's very easy to hit share, copy link, and then paste it wherever. So that is the anthology that we're doing. Also, I can say it here first as an update with other CHK news. We officially have the first draft of our script completed for Barricade Brigade Chapter 1. We finished first draft on Sunday. I sent out an update to all of our Kickstarter backers, letting them know first because they helped bring this whole thing to life. And so it felt right that they should know first. And then this is the only other time that I've mentioned anything. So the script for the first edit is done. That was literally like brain dump, get the story out on page. We landed at 88 pages. It's going to be shorter because I know the Belgian cottage scene is gonna trim down a handful of pages, but it's okay because it's perfect bound in the digest size. So we don't have to stick with the every 4 page for the stapled saddle stitch printing, because it's square bound, and so it's perfect bound. So we can do by twos. So if we end up at 82 instead of 84, that's totally fine. But it's exciting because script 1 is done. I am really happy with how it came out. Like, I'm really happy with how the story came out. And it happened so damn easily. Like, there were only a handful of moments where it was, ooh, shit, what do we do? How do we do this? There were only a handful. And I think we worked our way through those easily. And now we're both going through and doing our own edits and adding comments and stuff. And then we're going to debrief and parse through all that stuff. And we will get all of that then into the second draft. And then might even be getting it into the hands of a trusted editor person who can read over it and give us further notes on the story and the flow and the read and all the things. And then Kay will get elbow deep in art supplies. Thumbnails are already done for like 30% of the script. And there are some pages that they're not going to need thumbnails because we were same braining like Instagram thinks we are anyway. And so it's just like it's exciting. Like, making comics is the best. It's the best, period. Like, if you're nothing else tonight, hear that. Making comics is the best. Oh my god, I signed up for if the question marks are about the person looking at it, it's your wife. Remember how we talked about that? How we talked about her looking over it? We did. That was a conversation. I dream that? I've had some really vivid dreams. So, like, it's starting to get to a point where I'm like, was that real? I also, though, had a dream that I was working at convention uh, in Texas, but with Max Flowers, who lives in Alaska. But we were driving around trying to find parking, and we were like driving around what used to be the mall in Eastgate. I mean, it still is the mall, but it was in Texas because it was literally like desert, 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 desert. Mall where the convention was desert, 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 desert. We were driving around trying to figure out where parking was to get into the convention. Also, I'm keeping my antenna up to hear when Max's zine drops. I think it's Gasp, and so uh, yeah, so that'll be. I got to figure that out because I have an article in Gasp. So, pretty stoked with that. Talking about horror. Surprised. But, I had fun doing that, and so, yeah, so that's the thing that's coming up soon. Another thing, this is where I was going with the convention thing, was I signed up to table my first con. It's gonna be the Small Press and Alternative Comics Expo that happens up in Columbus. Last year, it happened on the weekend of my birthday. This year, it's happening in March, and so if you're gonna be in Columbus or in and around the Columbus area in March, come hang out. It's Saturday and Sunday this year, and my wife's coming, and she'll be at the table with me, which is gonna be super dope. So, really excited about that, and more will be coming as I lock in what the hell I'm gonna have on the table because I gotta figure that out. Yeah, speaking of cons, what a smooth transition this is. I didn't plan any of this, by the way. Cheers. I, I've been talking about conventions and convention table setups with almost everybody that I've had on the show recently. And because it's been a whirlwind of November, I don't remember who I've talked about having on and who I haven't. So I'm going to talk about everybody that I've talked to in November. So that's what we're going to do. It's not a huge list. I talked to Duke Electric. I don't know if you saw that. This man is styling and profiling wearing a pink suit and tie when he goes on podcast appearances. He wore the pink suit and tie with our friend and fellow Chris, fueled by Weird. Chris had him on his show, wore the pink suit. He wears the pink suit at conventions. It's great. It's a whole thing. It's a whole mood. I'm here for the vibes. Whatever they would say. I had a great chat with Duke Electric. We talked about all sorts of stuff, including con and table setups. So that was a fun one. I talked with Gerald von Stoddard and Frank Martin of Third Contact Comics about love and death on the dark side of the moon, and just what a wild campaign that was. Is it either has ended or is about to end? And I don't remember which one it is. Um, but that was good. Like Gerald, obviously, I've had on my live streams. I've had on the show a couple times, and it was fun to have him on with Frank because they are almost exclusively making comics together as a team, and it was just fun to hear how their process works back and forth. I love having a creative team on the show because then you really get to examine how that relationship works between the two creators. I then had Russ Duggar on, known on the internet as Doodlehoff, and we talked about Hasselhoff and the movie Ghost and Ninja Penguins, and we even got into like Dada theater movements. It was great. Anytime I can talk with another theater kid, is a good conversation because we just get like the improv spirit came out and we had a whole lot of fun. Um, had a great time talking with Russ and his book Ninja Penguin, which like, come on, it's an all ages comic, super fun. And then, holy shit, let's see, the 19th, Monday night. I was gonna have a stream on Sunday, and then the creator that I was gonna have on, I had messaged like, "Hey, I know it's been like 3 months since we set this up. Are you still good for this?" And he was like, I'm not. I'm buried under plumbing and fixing plumbing in my house." I was like, "Oh God, you're right. Nope, that's fine." So the stream didn't happen, and I just let it silently pass by. But Monday, just 2 nights ago, I had JD Rosario on of Unstoppable Comics, and I am still chewing through the knowledge that that man dropped on me. We had a great chat before we went live, insane chat while we were talking, and then he continued to drop knowledge on me after we ended. And it just was like, I can't thank him enough. Honestly, if you're an indie creator and you need to be inspired by hearing from a creator that's been doing this since 2008 and has been in the shoes of losing money and making money and breaking even and still facing challenges and still learning things and also still enjoying and loving making comics in the process and working at conventions and running conventions. Watch or listen to my chat with JD because dude was just a wealth of knowledge. And he was like a water balloon that you just poke with a needle. And it started out as a trickle. And then the more that you start to squeeze the water out, the more it's just like, blah! And he fire hosed me with information. And I got to rewatch it. Like, I don't usually do that. I'm going to because there was so many, like, I tried to take notes. I tried to take notes and I couldn't keep up. So, um, it was just like, don't beat yourself up. You can't know what you don't know. Never say no to yourself. The hustle is real. Have a newsletter sign up at your con table. Um, ways to make money, ways to uh, capitalize on an LLC and tax write offs. Thanks for hanging out, Vaughn. Like all sorts of info that JD was just like openly sharing of his learnings and all the things. So if you need to learn on any of those things, uh, check out that stream with JD because my goodness, looking forward to the final 2 streams of 2025 before I go on my month-long sabbatical of just no social media and no streams and no digital anything. I really think I'm just gonna change all of the apps on my home screen to like text, phone, calendar, because I still am working Miami games, my stupid game that I play every day, and Spotify. And that's it. And that's all I'm gonna have on my phone. And it's gonna be great. I cannot wait. But my final 2 streams on this Sunday, on the 23rd at 1:30, it's a matinee stream, which I'm coming to really love, by the way. I have Marvin Wynn. He is the person behind Comicsburg, which, if you remember, a month and a half or so ago, I opened up a swag bag box from him about the edge. And so there was like a pin and a magnet that you can't see, but I put up on one of the screws that anchors my shelf to the wall. For the edge. But yeah, so I'll have Marvin on, and we're going to be talking all of the comics that he's got in his Comicsburg universe. So I'm excited about that. And then on Monday, 11/24, the final stream of the year, I've got Nandor Fox Schaefer coming on, talking about his campaign for seasons 1 and 2, which, by the way, there's like 21 hours left. It's less than 24. The campaign ends tomorrow. So and it's still, last I checked, about $1,000 away from goal. I got on the digital tier and it's pretty affordable for 2 books worth of reading material. for the two digitals, and it's an easy way to support and help make seasons 1 and 2 happen. So if you haven't checked it out yet, check it out now and then come back on Monday and hear us talk about it. And that just nail biter, and I'm sure the anxiety that he's got um, going into the final 24, not yet at goal. So help him out and help his anxiety out. I also completely random, well, not really random, but random in terms of the conversation. I have two trading cards here from Barricade Brigade that are left over that are blank. And I was thinking maybe what I'll do is uh, do like a contest giveaway thing, And I've got two of them, and I want to do both of them. And because I'm trying to draw more attention here to Substack, let me know if this is too like influencer heavy or whatever. But I was thinking like anybody that is a subscriber as of January 1st, 2026, it's gonna be a big day. Anybody that's a subscriber is eligible to win. And so it'll be an easy drive. And I know it's insane to like, yeah, I'm gonna run a contest and a push to get people to sign up for my Substack when I'm not on social media. That's just crazy enough for me to try. And if the number doesn't go up, that's fine. Then I'm raffling off 2 sketch cards to some of you that might already be watching this. You know what I mean? But that's what I'm thinking is I wanna do giveaways on these, and I think I wanna do it for Substack subscribers because this is where I wanna move the vast majority of my social media time. I already have, honestly. I'm hardly posting anywhere else at this point other than links to the streams. And then I love when people invite me to collaborate on their posts on Instagram because I don't have to do anything except accept it. Yeah, accept it. E then A. And it shows up and it looks like a new post for me. And I didn't do anything. I love that. Because I want to get away from it. But I can't fully get away from Instagram because there are too many creators that I only talk to on Instagram. And I know I could be like, hey, here's my phone number, just text me and let's text about it. I know I could do that, but I also know not everybody is in the States or in Canada. And I don't like I feel like it would just get more difficult to communicate over text with creators that aren't domestic. So, um, yeah, but that's what I'm doing. Kay, you should save yours and I don't want to tell you what to do with yours because I just pulled doing a contest for these out of my brain 2 nights ago. Um, but you could have sketch cards as an add-on for the anthology, specifically from you. You don't have to. That's just anyway, that's what I'm thinking. If that's a shit idea, tell me. If not, that's probably what I'm gonna do, and I might start hyping it up next week. So, if you have thoughts and opinions, send me a message. Email me longboxpunk@gmail.com. Tell me your thoughts on the sketch cards being a Substack giveaway contest in the new year, for the new year. Maybe I just wait and do them in the new year and, really spend some effort to drive people here and then get more people in the pool that I can then just sling these at. CHK cards would be dope. That would be awesome because these, even though they say Barricade Brigade, like I'm just going to do whatever talking to people about them. But having CHK cards is a sick idea. And it's like we talked about trading cards. Huh? Anyway, I have a stack of books to open, so I'm going to do that, and then I'll probably call it from there because I've updated a lot of things. Cheers. I did the wall, and Vaughn's not even here. So, dude, I know you're not the dumbest guy. Okay, so this first one is from that guy that I was talking about earlier, Jared. J Red. Sorry, it's definitely not Jared. His name is J Red. But I might have cheated. If I cheated, I mean I had to verify something, so I've already opened it. But oh my gosh, Incision issue 3. I love this series. It is full of just like 90s goodness. All the action. Guy's name is Frank, and he's got a really badass mohawk. And he's got claws that come out of his forearms. Like, it's just if you're not reading Incision, you should be, because it's spectacular. Ooh, I also, I've got like 9 million of these now. And I've got a bunch of these. And there's the jredcomics.com. And there's another one. I'm gonna screenshot and do the QR code to find Jay and all of his awesome comics. Here's the Anti-Hero Incision trading card that I have 2 of. And so that's what I have upstairs. And then here is the sticker made from the cover of issue 2. So you can see the spiky things coming out of his wrist. And then here are new for this campaign stickers. We've got a really nice, like, that would be great on a car because it's a thicker material. I wonder if he did like economy versus regular. And then this one's slightly smaller. It's glossy as opposed to the matte, but there's the size difference. And then thank you, Vaughn, for getting me obsessed with standees. But I had to. It's purple, it's teal, it's even got the lime green up here. Like, how freaking sick is this? And it's what, 3-4 inches? 3? I don't know. I'm bad with I'm bad with measurements. But I mean, come on. So that's my Incision haul, and then always a handwritten thank you note. And also, okay, Jay says Barricade Brigade turned out awesome. Keep making dope comics. So there we go. I also had fun filling out a very fake email, because that's what I'm doing now with Kickstarters. I'm at a point where I'm just making up ridiculous answers for some of the survey questions. And it was like, what email do you want added to the mailing list? If you want to be added to the mailing list, I'm already on it. So I just filled out, remember those emo songs in like 2003 to 2007 that were complete paragraphs? That was just a single line of a title, like Fall Out Boy's classic, "Our lawyer made us change the name of the song so that we didn't get sued." Remember that song? I did that with an email. And you said, the digital rewards email bounced back for some weird reason. So I love that he was having fun with it too. That's what it's about. I'm just trying to give a laugh to creators in any way that I can. This next package, who does this come from? Oh, Zach Hugh. So Zach Quaintance, who did the Death of Comics bookcase, and spinning out of that anthology was this comic. He also came on the show to talk about this comic. There's a whole lot of secure tape in here. And I love me a good seal and reseal comic bag. This is a beefy comic. Ooh, it's not coming out. Okay. We will go with the comic cover first. This is Macabre Valley. Ooh, look at the Texas cutout, and the tree becomes a werewolf. It's good shit. It's just good. Like that's such a rad cover. And then we've got postcard, greetings from Macabre, and a handwritten thank you note on the back. I always love those. I don't know why I'm obsessed with those. Maybe because I do them. And then here was a stretch goal that was unlocked, this mini print for everybody, which I just love the visceralness. Is that a word? Visceralness? It should be more than a 4-syllable there. But I love how this werewolf looks, just how brutal he looks, and then the red shape behind him. And then we've got this one just unlocked at the very end. And this poster, I forget both of the artist names. This poster is hella sick. I mean, come on. So super stoked to get Macabre Valley from Zachary Quaintance, also a post-punk. He was on the show talking about it. And then from my pal Michael Schwartz, who was just at Thought Bubble in London. This arrived like the day he had posted. So he backed Barricade Brigade, and he had his rewards sent to his in-laws' house, and they, I guess, went to visit him, and they brought the rewards with them to give to him, and so he posted about it the same day. This is awesome. He posted about receiving his Barricade Brigade rewards the same day that I received his book, Armored, which I think this is super cool. So they've got like trading cards, but where they were drawn into the book, apparently. Maybe that's just their favorite characters. Right? Yeah. But then it's got their info on the back. Michael Schwartz, Ismael Hernandez, and then, my friends, David Mack cover, insane slipcase. One of my favorite cover artists, period, Jay Lee. Just, it like, this is so good. Armored Press, man. They just banger after banger. Here's the actual book with the gloss and then the spot UV treatment of the main character and the title. Personally, I think I would have just done the title and the sword. I get it. It's still insanely good. So, I mean, they got a quote for Dan Aykroyd, right? How is that real? What? And the R.L. Stein's on here. Couples book, the comic book Couples Counseling is on here. Super great. Very excited to have this. I've read the series. I read it all digitally, so I'm excited to crack that bad boy open and read it in its physical form. Plus, finally get my hands on this cover right here. And then finally, last one. Dude, the packaging and production on that book is just ridiculous. Like, it's so nice. They did the same crazy good treatment for Billy 99, which was Tim Sale's like first book as a cartoonist. Armored Press, man. Or Clover Armored Press. Armored is the book. Clover Press is just doing good stuff. So this last box came from, the time I talked about having Gerald von Stoddard on my show. So what he did, I've actually got two comics here. Ooh, this first one is the Collected Immortal Coil. I think it's issues 1 and 2 plus some bonus stuff and like an extra. I think he wrote in an extra like 10, 15 pages. But so there's the Collected of Immortal Coil, which I'm hyped about. We've also got. He sent me the rewards for 2 campaigns in one package. It's because he is an overachiever and also is just like insane how busy that man is. But here's a super sick, I think that's a 4-inch sticker, also with the cover art. What's up, Jay? We've got a this bookmark from Immortal Coil as well. And then we've got this pinup that he did on top of it all. And then, not to be outdone, so he came on the show to talk about doing, or he came on when I was doing Box Talk back on Instagram. And remember, he was in the tent in Italy and he was hearing weird thumps and it was like 3 a.m. And I said, Gerald, this is the start of a comic story. Don't die. He didn't die, it turns out. But he was talking about this book right here, which is an oversized art book called The Devil Inside, the art of Gerald von Stoddard. And there he is, making sick art. And look, rolling squid bones. The squid grew up, by the way. It is now matured and ready to do visceral things. But oversized, hardcover, and I don't know what to expect because I don't typically do art books, but here's, The Devil's Gate. I backed that. There's a cover he did for that series and an interior page. So it's got finished pages, it's got process pages, there's 1,000 cuts. And then his inks only for 1,000 cuts. So all sorts of different, hey, oxymoron. All sorts of his artwork and like some notes on his process as well, which process junkie, that's half of why I wanted to dig into this because I love looking at Gerald's artwork. And so I'm stoked to just sit down and enjoy some pretty art. So we made it. So many things unboxed, so many books looked at. Such good chat. And thanks. It was way past 2. Finally get my hair cut this past Saturday. And I sat down on my barber's chair and I was like, got your work cut out for you. Didn't mean the pun at all, but it was ridiculous. And it took a little bit longer than usual as he was cutting everything down. But I feel so much better and it's not constantly falling in my face when I'm looking down, packing up boxes at work. It's so nice. So, yeah, so there's that. Those are the boxes. Those are the rewards and more comics that I get to know, put on my shelf until I get around to reading them. And hopefully in December, I catch up on a lot of my reading because I won't be doing anything here on social media. And then we'll be back in January. I'll be streaming only on Sundays officially so that Mondays I can focus on creating my own art, curating this horror anthology, doing all sorts of stuff. 2026 is going to be a big year. Finally got the work shit figured out. I don't need to worry about that anymore. I can really settle in and not have to constantly be thinking work is awful and miserable and I hate it. What am I going to do and how am I going to get out? I don't have to think any of those things anymore. And that is insanely cool to be able to say, because that also then means that it frees up all of that mental capacity to then focus on making more comics. That's my goal. And I know I have a lot of goals. I have too many goals. I should have realistic goals. I do still want to submit and get into, well, I'm doing that. I already, it's not even 2026 yet, and I already have the gentleman's agreement to be included in a horror anthology. So that great. That was check. And now we're making our own horror anthology. It'll be in that. Check, check. And I'll be tabling my first convention. Check, check, check. And chapter 1 of Barricade Brigade is going to launch. And that'll be out there in the world. Check, 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 check. We're in 5 or 6 checks for 4 checks. I don't know. It's going to be great. I'm going to continue talking to indie creators. I'm going to continue to make zines. I'm going to be hopefully making more things that are coming out from me next year. It'd be fun to, I think I'm going to regularly be contributing to Max Flowers' zine Gasp. Yeah, so that's so all. Oh, I turn 40 next year. Like, there's just so many things that are happening next year. So, it's gonna 2026 is gonna be nice. But first, I got 2 more streams. I've got probably a final box talk after those. So I might still be here the first Wednesday of December to officially sign off the internet. I'll do those sketch cards. We'll do a giveaway. That'll be fun. And then who the hell knows what else? You know, the sky's the limit. And I'm not going to stop chasing after doing shit that I want to do. Why? Why wait? If you've been waiting, stop waiting. Do the thing that you've been wanting to do. I want to make comics, and now I'm making comics. I wanted to be in horror anthologies, so we just started making a horror anthology. And just figure it out and do the thing. And the payoff is insane, and the feedback is crazy, and it is terrifying, and it is exhilarating, and it is so much fun and so rewarding, and all of the things all the time. So, listen, time is, it started as a joke like 20 years ago when I was in time is a construct, man, because I feel like I heard it in some movie at some point somewhere. And I just kind of latched onto it. I've never celebrated holidays with my dad on the holiday. It's always before or after by sometimes a couple days, sometimes a couple months, like whatever. And so time is just a construct. Life is what you make of it, right? So with birthdays, I don't typically get bothered by birthdays. I don't care. Like it, because to me, age is just that. It's just a number. 35 got me. 35 got me. But that's for a lot of those for a lot of reasons. No, it had nothing to do with the number. It was my station in life and my parents. And so that's fine. But yeah, 40 is coming and it's fine. And like a lot of the creators that I talk to are doing their first book at 45, at 50, at 55. I keep reading articles from people on Substack that are like, yeah, I reinvented myself and I said, I'm tired of talking about wanting to be a writer. I'm just going to be a writer now. And they completely just spun their life and started writing full-time novels or articles or research or websites or blogs or whatever at 50, at 60, whatever. Like, it doesn't matter. Your age doesn't matter. So, after you're 21, because then you can do whatever. Except renting a car. Can you rent a car at 21? Don't you have to wait till you're 25? Why is that? If we trust people to drink at 21, why don't we trust people to rent a car at 21? If people can drive at 16, 15 with the learner's permit, 14 in some states, why can't people rent a car at 21? That's dumb. Oh, but it's fine. We don't need to. solving life's big questions like that, apparently. It is nearing the 10 o'clock marker. My battery is nearing the 0% marker. And so I'm going to hop off. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for always being active in the chats and for stopping in and swinging by when you can. And I appreciate each of you being here and talking with me and having these conversations. And I also love being able to say, like, we can talk offline and it'd be real. So, Jay, I'm curious to hear if you checked out that 5-star website I sent you for Dayton in June. And okay, we'll be talking all the time. Oh shit, Jay, you're another initial. I feel really I feel fancier, I feel swankier when I just call people by their initials because it makes me feel like James Bond a little bit, like a little bit secret agent. And it started when Kay and I were doing the Barricade Brigade tours, and we would be on the show, and they'd be like, "So, Chris," and we'd both be like, "Which one?" And so it just started with like C and K, and then we have a group chat with Vaughn, and I was like, "Well, I can't be calling him K and you Vaughn. That's not right." So I started calling him V, and I've got a J, and so just initials for everybody all the time, because I think it's funny. And really, at the end of the day, that's what matters. Is I think it's funny. So I'm gonna go laugh at something else. You should go make some comics, make some artwork. I'm gonna try and make some artwork and maybe do some script revisions, and we'll just get into the thing. And we'll be making more comics. We'll be reading more comics, and we'll be putting more of our artwork out into the world. So here is to a not stressful finale, final 42 days of 2025. Final 42 days. Enjoy them. Take a deep breath. And if all else fails, read some indie comics because they're good for you. See you, chat. God, I just said chat.